These villages in southern Transylvania provide a vivid picture of the cultural landscape in the area. They are dominated by their fortified churches, which illustrate building styles from the 13th to the 16th century. In Alma Vii, Mihai Eminescu Trust is restoring the fortress. This action is part of a project financed through EEA grants, Iceland, Liechtenstein and Norway. The highest tower of the compound is called the Gate Tower, but it is better known as the Bacon Tower because the Saxon villagers used to keep here their smoked bacons. Inside, we can observe the complex structure of a historic roof.
Suntem la nivelul al 5-lea nivel din turnul Slăninii. Acest nivel este unul deschis, din care se poate vedea acoperișul turnului cu o șarpantă spectaculoasă.
Nu am intervenit prea mult la structură, s-au făcut doar câteva intervenții, s-au dublat câțiva căpriori și am reparat unele elemente din lemn unde erau deteriorate sau unele erau lipsă.
Grinda și cu stâlpul și contravântuirile sunt numerotate ca să se știe fiecare cu ce trebuie îmbinată sus. Jos se pregătesc și ca să rămână aceleași piese să le găsească sus, se folosesc de aceste numere. În partea de sus este o structură stelată care rigidizează capătul acoperișului.
Historic roofs were built by carpenters following empirical intuitive conceptions based on knowledge accumulated and passed on from generation to generation in carpenters' guilds.
Certainly for these works there have been always high-skilled carpenters and joiners. We find very, very sophisticated structures. They made also, the people in earlier times made mistakes and even structural mistakes. But what you can say in general that the craftsmanship is always quite good and they never had some people there who did not know about and made rubbish work or so.
The roofs used to cover the church and the four towers were also modified during centuries.
Există din perioada romanică către perioada gotică, gotic târziu, o verticalizare. Din secolul 13 până în 15 există această tendință de verticalizare și la biserici și la case, la acoperișuri. Din punct de vedere tehnic, la acoperișuri de țiglă, care sunt uzuale la noi în Transylvania, acolo trebuie o pantă minimă. Adică în momentul în care zăpada stă mai mult timp, atunci se infiltrează în țiglă și îngheț-dezgheț distruge țigla.
Some of the old handmade tiles had to be replaced, though it's estimated that these tiles could last 2 times longer than the ones found on today's roofs.
Tehát ez a régi cserép körülbelül 150 év körüli, hogy hogyan gyártották, hogyan készítettek, mint kézimunka. Volt nekik egy megformált, tehát egy deszkadarabjuk, és kézzel kiformálták, utána elvágták a szélét, kivágták, a makját, azt mindegyiknek kézzel ragasztották rá.
Țiglele istorice, în primul rând prin fabricație, aveau caracteristici neuniforme în masă. Variau cromatic și rugozitatea și forma, planeitatea, toate astea sunt neregulate. Și așa rezultă o învelitoare care are o vibrație. Nu e plată, nu e o culoare, o tentă plată, uniformă, fără niciun fel de variație.
Nowadays, tiles are produced industrially. They look the same in shape and color. Using them would alter the aesthetics of a historic building.
O soluție foarte ușoară și mult mai firească este folosirea cât de mult se poate a țiglelor recuperate și, bineînțeles, înlocuirea doar a acelor țigle care sunt fisurate, deci care pun probleme de rezistență în timp, de durabilitate.
A Saxon village is characterized by a main street-based housing pattern. All houses lie vertical to the street, constituting an unbroken front of house and wall, with a gate parallel to and facing the street.
And also the houses, the plots are very small, very narrow, but long then. And in the end, we have the barns as they keep the building line in the back as a closed building line. And in front we have the gates and the houses, and so it is quite safe structure in total. And then we have these small sections of courtyards there. And what can you develop in such a courtyard? You have the small house. You need the gospodarul all the way long, and then you have the barn covering the full or almost the full size of the plot in the back.
There is a surprising similarity between the roofs of Saxon houses. Most of them kept their initial form based on massive oak joists. The rafters are made of fir wood, and the tensile strength is taken over by the tie beams. A typical Saxon house roof has two symmetrical slopes, and in the front, most of the times we observe a third, smaller slope, all covered with fish scale tiles. Back at the fortification, the roof finial on top of the highest tower has to be replaced with an exact replica, made in a tin workshop in Sighișoara. First, it had to be dismantled from the rooftop and lowered to the ground level. It proved to be a difficult operation given the height of the tower, the dimension and weight of the finial.
Acesta am refăcut într-un atelier de tinichigerie care sunt chiar meșteri buni. Deci au luat identic, au făcut identic și modelele respective, că acolo sunt niște mărunțișuri care trebuiau bine lucrate.
The weather is changing fast and heavy rain is predicted in the area. As soon as the piece arrives from the workshop, the team must move fast and fix the lightning rod inside the finial. The top of the roof is 23 meters high. Workers have to be careful for their safety while handling the heavy finial. A pulley is used to lift the piece. And then through the roof, the workers take it out carefully and install the finial in its initial place. Most likely, the same method was used by the Saxons hundreds of years ago, when the original finial was erected on top of the Bacon Tower. This fortress used to be their pride, the center of their universe. Now, a different ethnic community lives in Alma Vii, and it's up to them to keep this cultural heritage alive.